Welcome back, everybody. This is Weirdly Artistic episode number
Number one.
number one.
Oh.
So this is the first time recording in this new setup. We went from a casual couch sit-down talk to tabletop talk now. Nick just did this beautiful table of
Check it out.
comic strips. I feel it. I made them. And today we have a very special guest, one of our longtime friends from high school.
Decades.
Hello.
Decades.
That's sad to
Decades.
say. You guys 30 in like a week.
Dirty 30. Are you doing anything?
Lane and I are going to Alaska.
Okay, right on. That'll be fun.
That's sad to say, but we've known each other for decades at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah. I mean, hell, my high school reunion is tomorrow. The 10-year, or today.
It's
today. It's tonight.
We're
Yeah.
going
Crazy.
after this.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
My freaking parents.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was really debating. I didn't know if I wanted to go or not.
That's kind of us last year.
Yeah.
That was us last
We
year.
went
And
with a
then-
good group and then it was fine.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's honestly like what it was, because we were like, we're gonna hang out with the people that we hang out with already, and that's
Yeah.
that's what we
There's
do.
a reason I haven't seen you in 10 years.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. I have a friend. His high school reunion was during COVID, and they set up their reunion over Zoom.
No,
I was like, that sounds awful.
I would
What's
pop
the
on and
point?
just like
Yeah.
lighting.
So awkward.
At that point, what's the point?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I honestly, and if any of you listen, I don't care about them enough to do that.
Yeah.
You made the parents.
No offense.
We made
Yeah.
it.
Like
just
the
it is
people
what
I,
it is.
I want in my life, I talk to.
Exactly. Yeah.
On my right. So,
No, I still see all the homies when I need
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
The rest is just like I don't really care for you,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
Especially living in a different state now. It's like
Oh, yeah,
how is
I'm
that?
not running into
Yeah.
people, at the grocery store. It's amazing. Texas is
Texas
awesome.
is cool.
It's hot.
Get them lines.
Yeah, I do. I'm all tatted now. Right.
You changed your name to Tatted Up Big Alex.
Yeah, I
Inked
should.
up. Remember high school
Inked
when
up.
everyone would be like
Yeah.
inked up?
Yeah.
Jacob writes that.
Brother.
Oh, is that who started
I
that?
think so. Well, like I remember he got a tattoo when he was a senior. I think he was a year ahead of us.
Maybe.
Yeah, he
And
was
then on his Facebook, it was Jacob inked up Brightstein. I was like, dude, you're so lame. You're so lame.
That's so
Yeah.
But today, Alex,
Mhm.
you have a lot of experience when it comes to the film industry. You went to
traditional path.
you went the traditional path.
I did.
After high school, you went down to Hollywood.
Yeah.
You worked there for about a year.
2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
So
in
you
LA.
were really, really in
Tell us about
the
it.
nitty gritty of it all.
Yeah. So I first got into it because of video productions I did with you, which is
Thanks.
crazy to think about. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Hag. And we went on that trip to LA, and we went to a bunch of film schools and production companies, and we went to 5x5 Media in Encino, and they gave a hell of a spiel. Like I just fell
They
in
sucked
love.
you in.
They did. They totally did. And they had
They
a
had
really
to drink
cool
the Kool-Aid.
office. Yeah.
Oh, dude, they just have their cameras like out everywhere. It's
Yeah.
like 10 times bigger than
It's kind of
this.
like
It's
what we do,
beautiful.
but
Well, and, like,
Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood.
Their office was so chill. Like they had like that. What's that like sliding game?
Oh,
Shuffleboard?
Shuffleboard.
We
Yeah.
just had that yesterday.
And they had
Oh, this is
a fridge stocked with snacks. I'm like, I could work here.
This is the place. Which body part would you like?
Yeah. So I was talking some guy's ear off, asking him all these questions. Little did I know it was the CEO, Marcus Keys. And we get back to school, and I told Mr. Hag, I was like, I want to work there. And he's like, okay, chill out.
Yeah.
You're 18. You have no experience,
Yeah.
right? You know nothing about this
Just
industry.
graduated.
Yeah. And I was like, no, Mr. Hag, like, I need to work there. And he's like, okay, like, I'll reach out. I'll see what I can do. And sure enough, they offered me. Marcus remembered me from. He's like, oh, that
awesome.
girl was
Made a
asking all
good-
those questions.
Yeah, made a good impression.
Totally, because he was like, you know what? Nobody your age is this, like, fascinated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess he saw something in me, which is awesome, and so they offered me a year-long internship, unpaid, and then a PA position on a show coming up that summer. So 2 weeks after we graduated, I had to move
moved,
because the
yeah.
show started. Yeah, and the first show was King of the Nerds on TBS. It
Oh
only
my god, I remember that show.
yeah, it only ran for like 3 seasons. I don't think it did too well. Yeah.
Not a lot though.
Yeah,
So after that, it kind of kickstarted it, right?
totally,
Just
totally.
launched into the industry.
Yeah, so because of the connection with Marcus and their production company, I was a must hire essentially.
Yeah.
And so, and so I just had to prove myself. They're like, hey, after this, like, you're on your own because it's freelance.
Yeah.
And so it's word of mouth. You work your ass off,
Yeah.
and somebody will be like, hey, what are you doing next? Are you going to anything?
Oh, I know a spot for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
Totally.
remember from when we had Rusty on, you said it's similar, where it was just word of mouth. You just have to do the best you can, be available.
Totally.
You have to be Johnny on the spot.
Yes,
and that's
absolutely.
really how
Do
you
everything.
Yeah, and it's very the same thing.
Yeah, and not complain.
Yeah.
And do it as fast as you can to the best of your ability.
Get yourself a
Totally.
good pair of shoes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, and the standing. You guys, like, I was on shows that were 15, 16-hour days.
Oh my
It's
God.
insane. Yeah. It all just depends, you know, or like you'll have smaller shoots that are for a weekend and it's just a quick commercial, and those can be really long days as well because they're trying to get it all done.
Everything's done, yeah.
Yeah. But after King of the Nerds, I went to Hell's Kitchen.
Nice.
That was like, that jump started, I think, my career. The first show, obviously, but that next show, I had so many amazing connections that,
You just
you
hit
know,
the floor running.
It's a
oh
long-term
yeah,
show.
that set me up for the next
Yeah.
2 years easily. But it ran for 6 months. So we did, I think they call it wrap-in. I don't know, I forgot so much the terminology already, but
It's like when they film it at an expedited speed, right?
no, I'm just talking about like the different phases that I was in. So it was
Oh,
like the beginning, they're loading the stage, they're building the stage. So we were in this huge sound stage. And they build the kitchens, they build the
Okay.
living quarters in the sound stage. Yeah, so
That's insane.
everything's connected. They have RoboCams and it films 24 hours a day. So you have a day crew and a night crew.
Wow.
Over like 300 people I was working with.
Just for
Insane.
one show.
Yeah, there was like 40 PAs. It was crazy. Yeah.
That's so cool.
So it was wild. I had lived in an extended stay hotel when I first moved there. My parents bought me 2 months, and they were like, "Okay, this is your college present. Learn the area." I was in Simi Valley, so I was like an hour, 40 minutes from set. It was so far. And they were like, "Hey, learn the area, and then by the time this is up, like you have to have a place to live." So I just found somebody on Craigslist who was like a bunch of students that were going to CSUN in Northridge. Yeah. So I moved into a house with them. Super ghetto place. Like everything was broken. Yeah. It was in a cul-de-sac. None of our neighbors spoke English. Like, yeah.
Hey, you could kind of be
Yeah.
invisible there.
Well, and they hated us too because they knew it was like a party house.
Yeah.
I didn't know that moving in, but there was 2 other girls and a guy. We all lived downstairs. There was like 3 or 4 other guys that lived upstairs.
Wow.
So like
It
6,
was a
7.
lot. It was like a frat
Holy
house.
shit.
It was gross. I never cooked. Never cooked there. Just ate the food on set, and you're there for so long. You know,
Well,
you
I
don't
mean, you
really
kind of
have
have
time.
to, right? I mean, if you're having 12, 16-hour days, like you have to have at least 2
Totally.
meals there.
Oh yeah,
It's-
yeah, and they're really strict on the meal stuff too.
Craft services.
Yep.
Bomb.
Oh yeah, I ate a lot
Really?
of crafty.
Yeah.
Oh
craft
yeah.
is-
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
What advice would you give someone that wants to jump right into the industry like that? I mean, obviously you had the connection.
Totally.
Outside of that, like, what would you
Totally.
recommend?
Learn as much as you can and use any available resources you have around you. So like for me, it was video productions first and foremost, like getting familiar with, I guess just what we learned essentially
Yeah.
in class, but then also asking questions like, Mr. Hag, who do you know? And
Yeah.
who does this person know? You never know the connections that somebody has. So I would
It's
say,
all about connections.
totally.
100%.
So never disregard relationships, and don't overlook that. And then you just gotta be headstrong. You gotta go for it.
It's
You
a fight.
can't,
I feel like it's a very cutthroat industry.
Oh God. Well, that's why I
And-
left too. But
yeah.
you kind of gotta step around on the people around you if you want to move up, you know. But the second you do move up, the money shoots up. So I
Really?
always have all of these, people above me saying like, make sure you like your position, you like what you're doing, or else you'll just stay for the money and you'll be miserable.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's good to know.
Yeah. And then if you do get in, jump around departments like I did. I started as a
Find what you
PA,
like.
in production, and then I helped out in art department a little bit. I helped out with casting. So,
It would be fun. Is that like set design? Or?
and
fun.
costumes
Yeah.
and whatnot. Or I guess wardrobe was costumes and stuff, but. Oh my God. Well, and you just see so much cool stuff. Like if you're into the behind the scenes stuff, like I was growing up, it was like a dream come
It's like
true.
90%
Well, that's the other
Yeah, and you never know what's going to happen on set, especially with productions that have higher budgets, like Hell's Kitchen. It's like they do pyro, they do
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
all these different
Nice.
excursions. Yeah, so there's just so much to it. You never know what you're walking into. Yeah, it's crazy the money that they put into this. Yeah.
billions a year
Yeah.
into 30-minute
I said, yeah, like
crazy.
literally, like it's 30 minutes and they're spending
Yeah.
a fuck ton of money.
Well, and like Hell's Kitchen was crazy because the actual production, I want to say, ran for 2 or 3 months, and then wrap out was like another month and a half, 2 months, something like that. And so they do the challenges, right? And then if they lose the challenge, there's like the reward and the punishment.
Yeah.
So depending on, oh, it's amazing,
Yeah,
right?
it's such a good show.
So depending on how well you do as a PA determines whether you go on the reward or the punishment. So like some of the punishments, they would set tarps out in the back parking lot behind the sound stage, and they would take all the food from the week. So fish, meat, right, like you name it, all of the garbage, and dump it on these tarps, and they had to separate it.
Oh.
I remember this one episode, the girls lost, and they put them in like trash suits.
Yeah.
And they made them separate all of this trash. It was so disgusting. And so they do that essentially all day. And then the guys get on a private jet and fly to Vegas for the day.
Yeah. Dang. Better
You
way to
either
do
get trash or you go to Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Or they
dealing with trash either way.
we had another reward where we got to go to Santa Barbara. It's like a 2-hour drive up north. And they rented out this cool yacht and like jet skis and stuff. And so we all go onto the dock, and they were like, oh, hey, like we don't have enough room on the yacht for PAs. Like it's just, you know, pretty tight knit with cameras and everything. So you guys just stay here. We'll be back in like 4 hours. Like just don't get lost or whatever.
Okay.
And we're on the boardwalk. So we literally go, we get our palms red, we have lunch. Like we get paid to just go walk around the
hang out.
boardwalk. Yeah.
Let's do it. Have fun, boys.
Yep, totally. And they're
That's
out
awesome.
riding jet skis and stuff. I'm like, oh, not a bad day's of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's either really good or really bad.
Yeah.
Totally. There's some shitty days too. Totally.
What other show did you work on?
America's Got Talent, American Ninja Warrior. Those were huge.
That's
Oh,
actually really
It's so
cool.
bad. Is
Oh.
it easier than it looks, or is it as hard as it looks?
harder.
Really?
Harder. Like, you
I
know,
just feel so confident that I can
totally,
I can do that.
right?
I
I
can
could do that.
Well, and like if you sign a waiver, you can do the course.
Oh, really?
Yeah, totally. So you get there earlier, like
Did you
at the
ever
end of your
try?
shift. No, never did. Well, and the thing
That's
about
scary.
it is totally.
It's big.
And like the main show films at night, so it
Yeah.
was a night shift. So
Okay.
you would get to work at like 6 p.m. and then get off at like 4 or 5 a.m.
Dang.
Yeah, so
just
sleep
40
schedules.
flip-flops your life
oh,
just for one show.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It's worth it though. Again,
Yeah.
the connections on that, and like it looks so good on a resume, and
Yeah.
I can,
Well,
you know,
AGT and
yeah,
American Ninja Warrior, those are both huge.
huge,
So that's
totally.
dope. That's
And the America's Got Talent, that one was like a weird. It was like America's Got Talent Extreme. So it
Oh,
was.
the ones where they're like big acrobat shows and stuff like
Yes,
that?
yeah.
okay.
So
Yeah.
like
I haven't even heard
It's
of
like Vegas style shows where it's like
Okay.
they're gonna send you to Vegas and you win your own show kind of thing.
it's huge.
Okay.
So there was a guy that did like a huge high dive. There was a woman who like blew herself up in a limousine.
Blew herself up.
Yeah, like goes inside the limousine and it literally explodes, and she comes out and she's on fire, and they like extinguish her.
She
How
was
do you find
actually
out
on
you're good at
fire.
that?
Right? I don't know.
So it's
And
right
is
in
that
my
a
nose, it's
talent?
when it blew up.
Right?
I survived.
Like, is that a talent or is that just
I don't know.
you just want to blow yourself up?
Is that a
Thrill
talent?
seeker? I don't know.
It was cool. We also met on that episode. There was it was like the cousins of the guys that do Nitro Circus.
Oh, okay, like the Pastranas.
Yeah.
I can't remember what their names were. Super cool group of kids, and they did like a huge like slip and slide type thing. They'd go and do flips in the air, and
Okay.
yeah,
sick.
it's pretty badass.
Nitro Circus was always dope.
Night, I love the
Yeah.
series.
Yeah, so
Just guys doing stupid things.
totally.
It's like a not dumb Jackass.
Yeah, it's like
Or like it's actual like
professional.
skill
Totally.
Yeah,
stunts, not them just being idiots.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send a shopping cart off the roof.
Yeah, sharp.
with myself in it.
This is Peter Griffin.
This is roof shopping cart. Roof shopping cart, guys. Yeah, dude. Endless encyclopedia of
Yeah.
references.
Family Guys, loft.
Love it.
What?
You go.
Oh, go for it. What's your favorite show that you worked on? Like, out of all those.
I would have to say it's probably a tie between Hell's Kitchen, America's Got Talent, and American Ninja Warrior.
Just the scale of those is so
Oh, massive,
Yeah.
massive. And you meet so many celebrities like Gordon.
I was gonna say, did you meet Gordon?
Yes.
I feel like he's an
Yes.
awesome dude.
Oh,
Even
he's
on
amazing.
Camera, like, he's a dick on camera.
Well, I mean,
Totally.
when he's like interacting with the kids, when they do like the kids ones,
Yeah.
like he's super, super nice, but then like he flops completely. And I feel like he's like not normally a douche.
No.
No,
Like-
he's so polite and so kind. Like you would be on a lockup, which for people that don't know what that is, it's like a spot with on like the entrance to the stage, and so you have to sit there and you can't let people walk past if
Yeah.
it's a hot set or whatever. And so his private dressing room was down this hallway. So he came through my lockup one day, and he's like, "Oh, good morning, love. How are you?" Like lean in, give you a hug or a high five, a handshake,
That's
kiss
so
you on the
good.
cheek.
So
Like,
good.
smells amazing too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Kiss
Guy.
Gordon Ramsay.
It's like his biscuits.
Yeah, yeah, he's so nice. He's definitely passionate about the food. Like people are like, "Is he actually a dick?" And I'm like, he's just passionate. Like
Definitely,
he's
yeah.
Cares about what
you're
you're
being
doing.
an idiot. Yeah.
Burnt fish.
It was like something I was
Right.
talking to Riley last night, where like he has a vision, and if it's not what he wants, it's not something that he wants to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're passionate about their craft.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel that.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of why we're here.
And so
True.
Yeah.
So true.
What is something you would advise people not to do in LA? Like, what is
that's a good one.
something that you ran into where you're like, oh, this might help me or hinder me, and you
Mhm.
still chose to do it?
I would say, I mean, there's so many things when it comes to, like, let's say your first job and you're on set and you're working in the industry and you're fresh. Do not get into the gossip. Because there's a lot of drama on set. You're with these people every single day.
15 hours.
Yes, long days. You're eating with these people, and it's,
Barely sleeping.
yeah, everybody's sleep deprived, everybody's stressed out,
Yeah.
right? It's like a hurry
just
up
a
and wait
nonstop sprint.
environment. Yes. Well, and like shit's always going wrong. Always. Like you're never gonna have like a perfect smooth day. It's very, very rare. And so I would say stay out of the drama, stay off your phone. Like
Yeah.
if you want to be successful, you cannot be lazy. You cannot get into the crap. Absolutely, because you never know who's watching you, whether it's a higher up or whether it's another PA. Because you want to be a hard worker, but you also don't want to piss off the people you're working with. So the other PAs, they will throw you under the bus.
Oh, yeah.
This person's being lazy, they're on their phone, blah, 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 so, and people turn on you
What's
fast.
next? You got to cut other people down, and then they're like, I
Totally.
was carrying their weight. Now that
Yes.
person has more work under their belt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that kind of what made you step away from the industry? Is just like that. What's the word for it? Just
Culture?
like culture. Yeah, culture. Because it feels like it's very, get over someone to get
Yeah.
to.
I would say yes and no. I was also just so depressed. Like I didn't know anybody down there. I wasn't 21, so I couldn't go out to the bars and drink and meet people.
Yeah.
So sleep deprived, missed home, missed all my friends. Plus, I always had the idea of like, am I doing this wrong? Like, did I make a mistake? I would see all my friends and they're rushing sororities and they're in frats and they're at parties and football games, and I never got that experience. And so I was like, damn, I'm really missing out. But then I'd be on set and I'd see like this huge explosion, and I'd be like, okay, this is pretty cool.
That's-
Am I missing
Am I
out?
missing anything?
You weren't.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks.
You weren't missing
That's what everybody says. Yeah. So
I mean, a party's a party, but like something like on
Having to
set,
pay
yeah, you're
for it
never
makes
gonna
it
be able
worse.
to experience that. Like
Yeah.
that's something that no one usually gets to experience. It's a very limited amount of people.
Super
Everyone can go to
Yes.
a party.
Yeah.
Not everyone's gonna be on set.
Very true.
Anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, for big.
But just to answer your question, I wish I would have just kept my head down more. I think once you're in it for a while, it's easy to. I mean, I was pretty naive. I didn't know a whole lot, right? And so once you're in it for a while, you want to think you know everything and this and that. And so you want to give your 2 cents. You want to think that you're helping. Just keep your mouth shut and keep your head down. Like, the executives don't want to fucking hear what a PA has to say. They don't know. So keep your mouth shut. Just listen. Just watch and listen. You will
Yeah.
learn so much. Be quick.
I feel like Hag gave us such a good base,
Oh,
but like the
yes.
second I got to college for this, and then even doing this stuff, like once I left college and started doing this, there's so
Yeah.
much more to it.
Oh,
Like,
it goes so deep.
because it's like, oh, I understand the camera settings and blah blah
Mhm.
blah, but then it's like, okay, we just bought a raw camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's bad.
I mean, I think it's just
Okay.
they don't teach you the unexpected, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like this industry is a lot of dealing with unexpected things. It's
Yeah.
just solutions for stuff that comes up.
Yes.
And I like school can't really prepare you for that, so I think
I
it's
think they can.
Fair enough. No. fair enough. You're right. No. I'm being too nice. No, yeah. But like I feel like school is just very surface level when it comes to teaching you almost anything, and the industry. There's just so much to experience, and that's what makes it so fun.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing something different every day, learning something different every day.
Built in a cycle.
You never know what you're gonna learn.
Break the cycle.
And we built.
And if you don't like something, there's a million other things you could try within the industry. Yeah.
And that's what we always
Yeah,
tell
no, and
people.
it's so like there's just so many different like avenues that you can take with this industry, and
Or you
it's
can like choose to niche yourself or not niche yourself. Like
Yeah.
we have not niched ourselves.
Yeah.
So we do everything under the sun, film wise. But some people are like,
it reminds me of the intro song.
But some people like they'll just do straight weddings, or
Yeah.
they'll do just straight commercials, or like studio photography, or they just niche themselves. But I've never wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I want to do it all.
That's funny you say that. It made me think you can do the same thing with PAing. Like it doesn't just have to be reality TV. Like you can do film, you can do commercials,
Yeah.
you can do music videos, and they all pay differently. And then obviously the better shows are scripted, right? Or
Yeah.
movies because they run a lot longer, and you have the job stability and whatnot. But there's a lot you can do.
How much would a movie like? Is it what 6 to 8 months that you'd be on set?
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 to 8.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
at least.
Maybe big is like 9 to 10, but
Yeah. I know some movies will film for like a year.
jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Dune was done in like 4 months.
What?
Yeah.
Was it really?
That's
I feel like that's really
wild.
fast.
Yeah.
Because I remember we talked about the sandworm scene, and it took like a week to get
Okay, if you cut the one scene out,
I was gonna say like
4 months.
if that was the case for almost everything else, like there's
The
no way
war
they.
scene, yes, that was like a good month and a half, but the rest was super quick.
That's insane.
They're just out in the desert.
Yeah.
It's a pretty low set build, you know.
Yeah.
So knowing everything that you know, and obviously being about 10 years older than you were, would you ever go back?
I get asked that a lot, actually. People are like, do you miss it? And before I left, I'll never forget this assistant director. His name was John. And oh my God, he had written me a new one so many different times. Because, I mean, as a assistant director, like, you're stressed, right? You got the director and the producers down your neck.
Like the
And
main communication.
Totally. And so he had torn into me a few times, but I learned a lot from him because he was so scary.
Those are the best lessons.
Totally, yeah. And so he sat me down before I left and he's like, I just want to make sure this is really what you want to do because you're going to leave and you will never have the same kind of rush or fulfillment from any type of job again. Like, I know you love this stuff and you're going to miss it and you're going to want to come back. So I would say he's half right. There's days I miss it. There's other days where I'm like, oh, I would
So
hate to
glad.
be out right now. yeah.
Fighting for your life.
Yeah, maybe it would be different if I was in a different position, but the stress, you guys, that comes with those jobs is insane.
I mean, we have pretty low stress here.
That's
to be
awesome.
honest. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever honestly been stressed out of shoot.
Do you guys have like really intense deadlines?
Not necessarily. At least not that I've experienced.
I think the worst deadlines that we've hit are small videos. So we can literally just like bump it out in 2 days and then it's
Yeah.
then maybe want a couple
I'd say like
days.
the only things at least that I've seen is just like the weddings, but that's because like and it's built into the contract. We have 90 days to get it out. Everything else for the most part is just like as we're consistently cranking it out, so we haven't really run into an issue
Yeah, I
where
think
we're like overdue or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think
well,
it
maybe
makes-
Nathan's timelines.
Okay, but
He
he's
puts on like these weird expectations where it's like, this needs to be done tomorrow.
It's not even.
No, we're in
not even
March.
expectations. He's like, I want this training done by April 30th, and then
It's like April 15th.
April 15th, and no revisions have been done, and we're waiting on him. And
It's like, what the heck,
Like,
dude?
oh.
it's very, it's with him, it's very tentative. It's
Yeah.
it's a placeholder.
It's an open timeline.
Yeah.
Very flexible.
But he is very busy. He travels
Yeah.
a lot too, so it's understandable. But
He's
yeah,
a
I don't
consultant as well.
think
so
we've
it's-
ever really had crazy deadlines like that.
No, our stress is pretty low. I'm sorry I'm fiddling with this. I can't get it.
Figure it out.
No, I was
Like
trying
a
to figure this out.
I'm good. That's what everyone thinks. Still working on it.
Right, yep. Crazy. Would you guys ever go?
I'd have to be called down from here.
Yeah.
I mean, at this
Yeah.
point, like I said, I'll be 30 next week. So
Wild.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to start fresh.
no,
Yeah.
I'd want to someone recognize me and be like, hey, love your stuff. Like we want to bring you down,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And that's kind of the goal, honestly. Is like to get into the bigger stuff as we get bigger as well.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, taking 6K stuff and showcasing it to, production houses down there and saying,
Mhm.
hey, if you need a travel shoot or whatever,
Yeah.
we'll come down.
Yeah.
I don't want permanents down there. Like
Ah.
I couldn't. And Helena's
It's
too
hard.
nice for LA. So
Yeah, tell me
she's
about
way
it.
too
Oh my
nice
God.
for LA.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful. Yeah.
Just a whole different culture.
You know how you
It's-
said starting over also? That makes me think it's a really good piece of advice. Everybody told me, like, hey, you did it right, because there was tons of people that went to film school first. They're like, it's such a waste of time. It's such a waste of time. Like,
It
you
is.
want the hands-on experience, you're still not going to get hired on a show. Like, you got in because you got lucky. Like, those
Yeah.
kids in film school don't even get hired on sets like this.
Yeah.
Like, shit, okay.
No, I've told you
I mean,
a bunch of
yeah.
times,
Mhm.
don't go to film school.
Yeah.
I went.
Yeah.
And I think it gave me a good base for like studio work and lighting and stuff. But I think that the way that I learn, at least, maybe some kids need to go to film school.
I think it depends. Like you said, once you get
Yeah.
into your niche, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
Dylan Hageman, I think Chapman, there was no better option for him.
No.
That was incredible. And look
Yeah.
what he's doing now.
Well, he
right?
needed that deep training too, because he was
Yes.
so into the digital side of all of that.
Exactly,
stuff. He's
yeah.
a colorist, right? At this point.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, he's him and Spencer Campbell. Both,
Spencer's still,
He's at
okay.
EA.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, really?
my gosh.
Yeah,
That's
so-
awesome.
So they're both killing it down there.
Yeah.
But it's whatever path you feel you need. But I always say, don't go.
No, you
It's
don't
awesome.
need it. It's a waste of money,
Yeah.
waste of time. Just throw
You're
yourself
gonna
in.
learn everything in 2 years at college that you'll learn in 3 weeks of being on set.
Yes, absolutely.
Like that's just the way
That's
it
fair.
is.
And I
I've,
know-
I've taught you stuff.
Yeah, you kind of taught me lighting and a lot of just different, like the fundamentals, and
It's not like you mastered in college either. So it's like
and I mean, we're the same way. We learn the same way. I learn by doing. So like
Yeah.
you telling me, I'm like, okay, and then you show me, I'm like, okay, I got it.
I get it.
I understand now.
we're
Yeah.
both very visual.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Same.
So you're doing anything else? Editing.
So I've been bodybuilding,
Yes.
and so I made a prep series, a 10-episode vlog series.
Nice.
Thank you, my prep. And so I edited that, and I actually messaged Mr. Hag, and I was like, "Hey, like,
Look at what I
still
made."
using my skills."
What'd you know?
Final Cut, yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I just bought the
Gee.
yeah, well, because they give you like the 90-day free thing, so I
Yeah.
don't even have to pay for it yet. I was
Oh,
like,
oh,
nice,
nice.
yeah, till like
If
July.
you're doing it as like a
Hobby, like just more,
side
yeah.
gig, Final Cut's the good way to go.
Totally. And that was like what I remembered best. And so I was like, am I gonna need to do a tutorial? And I like started to press buttons. I'm like, oh, and it
No.
all came back.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Dude,
What
really
movie is that? Yes, man?
No, it's
Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty, yeah.
It's like sipping the coffee.
Boys, my nipples do the cha cha.
Yeah. Like tiny nipples went to France.
That's what it was.
I do the cha-cha like a sissy girl.
That's so funny. I love it.
That's
Oh,
good.
Steve Earle's breakout, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it is hard to learn multiple softwares
Yeah.
because I mean I started on Premiere
Yeah.
and switched to
I switched to
DaVinci.
DaVinci pretty quick.
Yeah, but like just use what you know. I think is one of the biggest.
So did
things.
you switch again? Because I believe you were using Adobe
Yeah.
Premiere, right? Yeah. Because when I was gonna work for you guys,
That's
So-
the
you
one.
yeah, and I was like, oh.
I
this is
use
weird.
it very seldom. I only use it for editing the podcast.
How different is it from Final Cut?
Very.
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 I would
It looked
say
like there's
it's-
a lot more buttons. It was
Yeah,
overwhelming.
I think Final Cut is just
Premiere's like the
very
analog version, I would say. If you want to look at it that way, Premiere's like the analog and DaVinci is like the digital, if that makes sense. So it's
Okay.
more like drag and drop. It's stuff's really built to cater to you.
Yeah.
Doing stuff easier, where Premiere is like you gotta know every keynote base step to do it
Yeah.
really well. So
Okay. That's tough.
it's a time saver
time
as well.
consuming
Yeah.
though, yeah.
But I think I'm learning 4 softwares right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always learning DaVinci, Blender, so I'm doing 3D animation now,
Okay,
and then
cool.
Unreal Engine,
Wow.
I'm doing that as well, and then Photoshop and Lightroom I use every week as well. So it's
Right on.
it's brutal.
Jack of all trades, man.
Yeah. Oh, AI has definitely made it easier. to
Oh,
learn
yeah.
Stuff. It's so assistive at this point. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited for DaVinci's Autopilot.
Yeah.
What is that?
So the only reason I use Premiere is because it has this extension plugin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a plugin.
And then it AIs the podcast, so like it just chops it.
Very
So
cool.
we just tell it the camera, and
So
so
it'll-
it cuts the whole thing.
It does it in
amazing.
5 minutes. So it takes me 2-3 hours to edit it. It'll take it in 5 minutes. and that is the only reason I use Premiere because it has that plugin.
AutoCAD.
There's a guy that's working on one for DaVinci, and it's
Okay.
going to be a one-time. I was talking to Jack about this. It's one-time purchase. I think it's like $200-300, but then once you have it, you have it,
Good.
and then it's
'Cause
gonna.
DaVinci's free anyways, and so it's like.
I mean, yeah, for us,
Kind of free.
yeah. But yeah, once that comes out, I'm completely switching to DaVinci.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We're deep.
We're deep in.
We're deep.
Yeah.
Oh, it's over
There's no
at
going
this
back
point.
now.
Yeah.
You're either
DaVinci is
dying
so
or
powerful.
it's over. Yeah,
The
DaVinci is powerful.
Fusion's insane. That's what I'm learning now.
DaVinci is the all-in-one as well.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's got like After Effects built in it. It has like Premiere
Like music studio built into it.
Yeah.
It has editing.
the color grading
Mhm.
is built into it. It's like Adobe, you have to use the Lumetri color. Which is
Okay.
like a plugin. It's in
Yeah.
Premiere, but it's
But it's
not.
yeah.
And so DaVinci is like all one fluid system.
Nice.
And the coloring is just so much better.
Oh yeah.
So much better.
Gosh.
Well, these cams now, so we're running on the 6K, and it's raw. Yeah, be careful to see your pores. But it's so raw at this point.
Yeah.
It's like you have to use DaVinci. But DaVinci's built for Blackmagic. Well, not built for it, but it's definitely easier in DaVinci.
How many cameras have you guys gone through now?
Right now we have 4.
We had 2 6Ks. Now we're down to 1 6K and a 4K.
Yeah, and
Right,
Sony.
Magic and the Sony.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then a bunch of action.
Didn't you have a red at one point?
No, I wish.
Badass.
That's next.
That's nice.
Okay.
It's in the next year or two.
Yeah.
Then it's on the name, then we're good. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I'm not gonna say I can match red footage with the black magic, but
Yeah.
it's like the average viewer.
I mean,
I
for the
can
level
match
that we're doing right
Yeah.
now, like this is almost. I mean, it's still kind of overkill.
Not for yesterday with the.
Fair,
Yeah,
fair,
I
fair.
mean, it's wide.
But I mean, you almost don't need to shoot in 6K.
No,
But but I
why
can.
not? Why
It's
not?
right there.
Yeah.
So what's your guys' favorite thing to shoot?
Cars.
Ooh.
Cars are fun. I haven't experienced enough to hate it yet, but I like weddings. I know. I like to shoot weddings. They're just fun. They're fun.
Yeah, they're vibey. It's definitely one of the easier things to
Mhm.
shoot. Once you've done a couple, like get over the stress of, oh my goodness. But it's very formulaic, so it's just like,
Yeah.
that's
I
where
mean,
it annoys me, because it's just like the same thing every time.
And again, I haven't reached that yet.
Yeah.
I've only done, I think, like 6 or 7 so far.
Yeah. I've shot probably like 150 weddings.
Damn.
Yeah.
You have a drone still too?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Just the little guy.
Yeah.
It's all,
That's all you need. Yeah.
It's considered a toy too, so
Like
you don't need a
Is it really?
Yeah. So you don't need a license. It's great.
That's awesome. You have to have a license for a legit drone?
Anything
And-
over 250 grams.
What?
Yeah, you have to like call the FAA at this point. Like if you want to do it super by the books, I mean most people don't.
Yeah.
But with us being a business and getting paid for that kind of thing,
Yeah.
we
We
do
need
stuff.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
Wild. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
No, I didn't know that. He told me that a couple of months ago, actually,
Yeah.
too.
Oh, it's like a
That's-
$10,000 to $20,000 fine. Especially if you're flying in an area like within
With air
5 miles of
traffic.
an airport.
Yeah.
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 Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's
I remember I was dating a guy this is years ago, and he went over kind of like by the Green River Bridge,
Mhm.
and he was flying over there, and like some crackheads came out of their house and with their shotgun, and he was like, "Land it and give me the card or like the footage, or I'm gonna fucking shoot your drone."
try.
I'm like, "What did you film?
Just
What
fly
did you
straight
find?"
up.
Yeah.
It's hiding.
Cousins. out there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't kill me.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Sick of
It's
this.
OSHA.
Yeah.
Hey, it's OSHA.
What you doing down there?
I love those. But
So, are you still into film?
I mean, just with the vlogs that I did, and that was fun. But I mean, I shot it all on my iPhone, and then just
That's how you need it.
threw
They're
it
all
in.
4K now.
Yeah,
So who
yeah.
cares?
Honestly, I don't like the new iPhone cameras. I think they suck.
really?
Yeah, I think like the 10 is way better.
I don't like that the other lenses add so much like distortion and blur to the
Yes.
back. I know you can change it in post.
Yeah.
Like you can edit all of it, but
Yeah.
I wish it was just it used to be like so crisp around the people.
I agree.
The 2 cam was the best one.
Yeah,
Then they went to 3 and it's like just keep adding more.
yeah.
Just keep
Just
adding
making
more.
the whole back camera.
Maybe I also just don't know how to use the phone. There's so many settings in there I've never even touched
Yeah.
before.
Oh.
So
Yeah. I mean we've had to learn all the
user error. Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah.
User error, yeah.
Nathan called and he's like, hey, my camera's only recording for 5 minutes. He's like, did you film at the car? I was like, but I've already filmed a bunch.
Sucks, buddy.
It's like, you gotta deal with 5 minutes.
It's like, drop your footage.
Yeah, drop it in reformat.
Oh my gosh, I always remember Mr. Hag talking about like the absolute no-nos on Final Cut. So like as I'm editing, things slowly start flooding back and I'm like, okay, wait, there's like a few things that I absolutely cannot do or else I'm gonna lose all this footage. Like
Don't unplug it.
exit before it's done rendering, yeah, unplug the hard drive, all that stuff. So I don't know what had happened, but I had gotten to a point where I opened it one day and it was like missing file, all like the red exclamation points.
Hard got unplugged.
Yes, I was like, no.
Just
So I had to go
You
back.
have to
Yeah.
relook it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it'll just burn your hard drive,
Yeah.
which is, we've had a couple scares.
Have you?
Oh,
dude.
That's the
yeah.
worst. That
Well,
feeling.
Actually, if you remember the thing with Hannah,
yeah.
oh my god. So we had this girl that she was trying to intern here, and we gave her footage on this hard drive, and she just unplugged it, and
Yeah.
it ruined all the footage.
No, like corrupted the card so bad we couldn't even reformat.
We could not do anything. We had to just throw
I
it.
threw it away.
That's like the
and-
biggest no-no there is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Please.
it was
What?
One of Nathan's projects was on there.
Yeah.
Because it was Brian's.
Section
earlier.
5.
Yeah, section 5 of
I'll never forget it.
I'll say how much footage do you guys have on there?
Oh,
it's probably like
Hours.
300-400
300.
gigs. Yeah.
that's pretty small enough.
That's all.
No, yeah, I mean we're dealing with terabytes like almost.
Yeah. Yeah. But
This
still, that's a
episode
good
will
amount of
Yeah.
footage.
It was a lot of
Yeah.
footage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bummer. That was also not a cheap drive. It was a 1,000 megasecond writing drive, so it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would-
And I remember I saw her unplug it without
Oh,
ejecting
you
it.
were both
And I was just like, yeah. because- like I saw it and I think like we looked at each other.
yeah.
And that
I
was
wasn't
like,
the
That just
embarrasser.
happened.
yeah, no, and like I didn't say anything in front of her, but then like later we were checking and like I think she fucked it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was nice.
Happens. Happens.
Freaking turns.
Wasn't meant to be.
It was not meant to be. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely meant to be nice. We want the right people on the bus again.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's- makes the team.
It may be short, but we still need
It may
good
be
people.
short.
We were at a beer fest with Lena's family, and one of her friends, parents' friends, was like, "Hey, do you have a little bit of the tism?" I was like, "Did I? I've had a few beers, but like, what?" And she's like, "I've noticed you stand off in the back of the room when things get like really loud and like."
It's like
"You're
sensory
flicking your
overload.
fingers." And I'm like, "Have you been watching me?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm a special needs teacher." Hey,
You're looking on the spectrum.
yeah, I was like,
I you know, seeing you.
I just met her that day.
That's kind of wild to say to someone you just met.
Yeah.
Like, are you?
I mean, they're family
That's
friends.
crazy.
Like, I've heard about them, but then I finally met him, and I was like,
You got a little bit of that tism in you, don't you? You're just like that.
hey.
What's that comedian? And
Shane Gillis.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's like, it nicked me.
He's like, I was dodging, but I think it nicked me. When he does his like face, he actually like I hate to
He's so
say
good.
it.
Yeah, he's a great actor, honestly. And-
Just-
Have you seen Tigers?
no.
It's on Netflix. It's actually kind of funny.
Okay.
It's like a 7 episode season series. It's pretty fun.
Is it his?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
I
they're
think Netflix signed him, right? Because
yeah. I was talking to Z because he works at the tire place
Oh,
with
yeah.
from Northwest Bus, and I'm like, it kind of reminds me of you. It's like they're getting into shit. It's super funny.
Because he's got a mouth on him, too, though. Big mouth.
Wow, so how did that conversation end?
We talked about how I like art stuff, and then she asked if I wear my headphones a lot when I'm drawing. I'm like, yeah.
I just have ADHD, that's it.
Yeah, that's what
Do
it
you
came
get
down
nervous
to.
when
Yeah.
it's
Like,
loud and
Yeah.
you're like, I guess.
it just came down to like the overstimulation of focusing on too much at once kind
Yeah.
of thing, the ADHD.
Totally.
So
Totally.
that's what it came down to. And I was like, I don't.
Damn, do I
think
have
I'm
autism?
I know.
Yeah.
One time I was laying in bed and I lay like this sometimes with my hands and I was scrolling TikTok and a TikTok pops up and it's like, did you know if you sleep like this, you're autistic? And I was like,
Unravel. No.
Alright, well, time
Oh
for
my
bed.
God, that's
Yeah, time to go to bed.
Yeah.
Go to sleep. Yeah, that's.
I feel like everybody's just about labels nowadays, though.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I have this, I have
I
this.
just think the spectrum's so big.
Yes.
It's like.
I think we all have
We all have a
ADHD.
little bit.
Every
Yeah.
90s baby has ADHD.
I think so,
Convinced.
yeah.
Yeah.
We actually had to sit and focus in class.
Yeah.
And like forced to be, where now kids have laptops and things, and where they.
I think we were the last, like, decent or
Generation.
with a decent childhood, like bikes and
Well, yeah, because
fresh air
everyone
and
before
video
us
phones.
honestly grew up with a phone in their hand.
Yeah.
Like, I think I would say after we graduated, probably like the next couple years after that, it was just like all those kids grew up with phones in their
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember running down 169 as a kid.
Yeah.
Like just down the main road.
We were talking, did you ever play, I think I might have played it with your family, actually, Fugitive.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god, dude,
Yes.
you guys remember Fugitive?
Oh my
from
god,
high
I
school?
talked about this yesterday
QFC
with
to
the
same-
bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were
Yes.
like, no, that wasn't us. I thought it was Kayla's family. It was your family.
Yeah.
And they switched cars.
Yeah.
And so we didn't know what car his parents were in anymore. And so they got a ton of us.
Yeah.
Dude, those are
We did a
fun.
lot.
Oh.
Did you ever go to the big ones where it was like 150 people?
No.
So there was that guy. He was older than everyone at the time. Like I was probably a sophomore or junior, and he was graduated for like 2 years. So he's that creepy guy that's still
Yeah.
Mm.
Hanging
put
out.
high school groups together. It's like hell yeah, brother. But he did.
Never left.
Yeah. He still
He's
has
McConaughey and Dayson confused.
Yeah. He put together the whole thing, and it was like 150 people. And we
Wow.
all started QFC. There was like 10 cop cars.
Dude, do we do
It
the
took us like
Fugitive?
3 hours to get to Safeway.
Do we just do Fugitive sometime?
Yeah.
Right?
Let's reset
Just,
that.
yeah, we
15-year anniversary. Let's.
It'd be kind of
Did
fun,
you
I'm
win?
not gonna lie to you.
Oh, I made it.
Oh, yeah, right on.
Duh.
Good stuff.
I mean, I was playing soccer 5 days a week, so I was just like half jogging all the way there.
Dude, honestly, the secret was to just walk on the main road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they'd always go through the neighborhoods and just be on the
Totally.
main road, just like
Yeah.
jogging. Yeah, just.
Like
Throw your
the
thumb out like you're not playing.
the fence across from what school is that? Rock Creek.
Yep.
I would just slide along that fence. There's like bushes
Scoot
every
down.
10 feet. Yeah, just go behind those bushes.
Throw it up by the I remember getting caught in some people's yards though. Like it was dark.
Yeah.
And
Dude, they would tackle you, bro.
yeah, were you there
I
when we
think
were
so.
on that side road on Rock Creek and that guy came out with a flashlight and I was like, everyone lay down.
Oh
And
my-
we laid down in the tree shadow.
Yes.
And he kept flashing his flashlight past and we're all just in the tiny flash. And I'm up against a tree and I'm like, okay, wait till he leaves. And then I was like,
Oh my
3, 2, 1, sprint. And we all just like took off. And he turns around and he's like, what? We were like in his yard though. It was so scary.
Every man for himself at that
It
point.
felt like a movie because he's like, they're so dead.
Man, I remember Chloe Miller. We were all at her house. I don't know if it was a birthday party or a Halloween party, and we all went ding dong ditching. And she had some mean neighbors. And we go to this one house and we hide. He comes out. He's pissed. Like he keeps looking around. Like he knows he got ding dong ditched. So we go down the street a ways and we come back. We're like, let's do that guy's house one more
One more
time.
time.
Might as well. Might
Let's
as
run
well.
it really piss him off.
He was ready. Like we ring that doorbell, barely get around the corner, and it flies open like no time.
That's the most adrenaline you'll
I
ever feel.
think it was Chloe or somebody had to hide under his car, and we're just watching like
Oh,
she's
yo.
gonna die.
This is a horror movie.
That's insane. It's so funny.
Yeah, yeah. I think they called the cops that night too. We're like, okay, no more of that.
We always did dime cat.
Dime cat, what's that?
It's where you cut out a black shape of a cat and then you put dimes on it. So
On the
when
eyes?
Oh, it reflects.
It reflects and it looks like a shape of a cat. We got Joe Donahue so good one time. You know Ryan's Hill?
Yeah.
We put it at the bottom of that.
Yeah.
And so people are already coming down that hill fast.
Yeah.
And we're in those bushes on this front yard. We just it's like, fuck you guys. And you guys just see him kick it. And I was like, yes.
That's so funny.
Man, he's like producing music,
Yeah.
right? In Florida?
Yeah, you were just telling me.
I think Atlanta.
Okay.
Maybe Florida or Atlanta.
Something
I know
like
he's on
that,
the east side though. Yeah, he got really into it as well.
Yeah. I think he's doing
He's like
really
a rap
well.
guy. I'd love to have him on.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That's awesome. Haven't talked to him in a long time.
Me neither.
You haven't seen him since high school.
Man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have not seen him since high school.
That's crazy.
No, I still follow him. He's doing cool stuff.
So are you guys gonna stay in Washington, do you think?
I think at least for the time
For
being.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I'd
while
like
we
to-
get the studio, I mean, it's kind of up and running. We haven't necessarily promoted it quite yet. We just finished it this week. We just finished this week. We finished
awesome,
painting.
by the way. You've done an awesome job, yeah.
And we're here for 2 more years. We just re-signed the lease for this studio. So I think as we build a bigger following and basically just see money for a bigger studio, I think we're at least tied here for at least a little bit.
At least this specific location. I wouldn't mind getting closer to Seattle or
Tacoma
maybe
even.
Tacoma.
Yeah.
Just really plant like a big studio.
And it's like more central.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a good location for what we're doing now.
Yeah.
It's very centralized, at least, because we have a lot of South End clients as well.
Okay.
Claw, Bonnie Lake, and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Maple Valley's booming.
Yeah.
Right now it
Booming.
is, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not what it used to be.
No, definitely not. I miss the
So many
Nollies.
more roundabouts.
Four Corners and the
Dude.
haunted house.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the OGs and the.
All the OGs.
Yeah.
I used to walk there.
Me too.
Yeah, because I could go through the Rock Creek and get to Four Corners.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then before the Fred Meyer was in there, it was all trees, so you could walk through.
Remember when we used to walk home from the
The
junior
junior
high
high.
on
Yeah.
Fridays? Yeah, we walked to Safeway and
I think it was like every Friday.
Yeah.
It became at one point like every Friday was like
Yeah.
an early release.
the early release.
I think,
Yeah.
That's my senior year, or our senior year.
Yeah.
Got a half day Friday, so that was great for winter
That was,
for
yeah.
snowboarding.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I could drive
Ski
senior
bus.
year, so I was like, later, I can leave it. Yeah.
I'll never forget, I broke my arm in 6th grade snowboarding on ski bus. It was the last run of the night. And I caught an edge, yeah, and it was all ice, just right below the
Sounds
growth
like
plate. Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, snowboarding sucks.
Ice Hill of Death.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's been nice. I've been there when it's nice.
Have
But
you?
I would say 80% of the time.
It's just icy and
Or cornflakes.
Raining.
Yeah, or raining.
Yeah.
Like, we used to just bring huge trash bags.
Yes.
Remember triple 60 and you
Yep.
sit on your back and you just rip down
Slide
on
down.
your back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm not going to ruin my board
Yeah.
with all this
that's
ice.
yeah, okay, that's fair.
And so you just
Tuck
use
your
your trash
knees.
bag. Yeah, you just hold your feet up. And you just.
They got mad at us because everybody was taking them from the lodge. So
Yeah,
we
we
started
just
bringing
steal
them.
So you forgot it though, and it's raining. You're stuck there because you're on the bus. So it's
Yeah.
like you're either sitting in the lodge or soaking wet outside.
Exactly.
So,
So they
get
keep
it
you
back.
dry too.
Sounds kind of
Get back.
miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at that age, it's like
It's
I guess
fun.
you don't really care, yeah. Yeah, you don't really care.
you don't really feel pain at that age.
No.
It's like middle school,
Or
junior
fear.
high. Yeah.
Or being
Pain
Or
is the
fear.
mind killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember doing so much like dumb shit as a kid. And now
Still
I'm like,
do.
I probably should.
Yeah, I still do. I'm still a
I
kid.
think about it a little more.
Caution's there. Nah. It's the
Err
thought
on
of
the side
like,
of
this
caution.
could really injure me, but I'm still gonna do it.
Yeah,
But that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
totally.
We take business risks now.
Yes.
That's what we
Calculate.
Professional.
Calculated financial risks. What is the ROI of this investment?
There you go.
Okay, it's decent. We could get better. It's a risk we're going to take.
Yeah. My risks are just packing up, leaving, going somewhere new.
Yeah, you do that a lot.
No plan.
You
Yeah.
like to
just
No,
bounce.
gypsy. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
you're a little bit of a
I
gypsy.
am. Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
I love it though.
Free spirit.
Say,
Yeah.
say nomad.
Uh-huh.
Nomad
definitely.
city.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nomad.
that is way cooler. I know everybody's always like, so what are you doing next? I'm like, I don't know. Figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm just taking it one day at a time.
When I was in Wenatchee, I was looking for places over there and everything was either being rented out or prices were skyrocketing, you know, and Wenatchee's starting to boom a little bit as well. I was like, man, I really want to go to Texas. Like I've been thinking about it for so long. And I called my stepsister and I was like, what do you think? She's like, Sissy, go. Like
Yeah.
you've always wanted to go. Called my mom. She's like, you got no mortgage, no boyfriend, no dog. Like,
No car
If-
payment.
yeah, if you-
yeah,
want.
yeah, paid off my card. So she was like, you know, if you can go now, go.
Do it.
So within a week, I had called a girl that I met in high school through Maddie Morton. Actually,
Reagan.
we met at a party, Reagan. Yeah.
Tell us if hi, by the way.
I will, definitely. And I was like, hey, like, you still want a roommate? We always talked about maybe living together one day down there. And she moved down there like 3 years ago. She was like, yeah, I just had to kick out a roommate. Like,
Perfect.
you want to move in? I was
That's
like,
so
I'll be there on the 1st.
Nice.
So
Funny
within
how
a
that
week.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah, quit my job, shipped my car, packed up everything to U-Haul, and drove 28 hours by myself.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I mean, you're thriving.
Yeah. I mean, I bawled like the whole way. First 6 months were brutal because I'm like,
You just
lush
Setting
green
everything,
Washington.
yeah.
It's 107 the day I move in.
Oh,
Everything is fried. There's no green. There's no
Yeah.
clean
It's
water.
just brown.
The humidity in the air. Oh God, it's horrible.
it's
Yeah,
Texas.
it's Texas.
It's
But it's badass.
It is badass. I
Great
would love to
food,
go
great
there.
people. Yeah.
I want to go to Austin. I've heard the
Never been to Austin. I heard it's amazing.
the art scene.
The art, yeah.
is
Yes,
really
the
cool.
music, the food.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Big film. The murals there are sick.
No, you've talked about it. I think it'd be cool to take a little trip.
I want to go to like Austin City Limits, that big music festival. I think it's like a 2 day.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
right
yeah.
downtown, and yeah,
I've heard of those.
I've never done a music festival like that.
Yeah,
They're fun. They're fun.
That was what I did in California. I blew all my money on music festivals.
Yeah,
That's right, yeah.
Came down and did one with you.
Yeah.
Halloween one.
Yes.
I don't
What
think
was
I
it?
could get work.
Escape Halloween, I think.
Yeah, I was also kind of scared. I was like,
You were yeah.
no.
It's so crazy.
I'm scared.
Like Washington really at that time, I think there was Paradiso, but like it wasn't huge yet. Like people were kind of getting into raving, but
I think,
16?
yeah.
2014.
Well, that's when all the megas would be up here.
That was
I
like
think,
I think the
Literally 10 years ago.
peak of EDM music. And so,
2016,
yeah, when I
best
was
summer
in
for EDM.
LA, they had Hard Summer. It was a big 2 day festival outdoors, and that was like my first real big outdoor rave. Oh man, I was hooked. And so then, yeah,
Got locked.
that was all I did.
You like the show side of stuff? I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'd be there to look at the lights.
Yeah.
The production of
The
everything
productions
is
are crazy, actually.
Yeah. Of course.
That's actually one thing that's really, really cool. If you go to a big festival like that, like not just like a local rave.
Coachella.
Yeah. Oh.
That production is
No,
insane.
Beyond Wonderland, Paradiso was pretty good.
EDC.
EDC. I wouldn't go to EDC anymore though.
No, me neither.
I would
It's
never.
just
Same with Coachella. I don't think
same.
I'd go anymore.
It's changed.
It's
Vibe.
I did 3
that's
years.
that
at
was
Coachella.
that's the whole thing with me. I think it's not that it's a bad thing. I think it's become a little more mainstream and it's just
Yeah.
too crowded.
Well, like the lineup, awful this year.
Yeah.
I would not pay that much money, and the tickets are skyrocketing.
Yeah.
It's just
And
yeah.
it's at least for
And nobody
Coachella.
goes for the music.
No,
it's not.
it's for the-
It's
It's a
not the
fashion
scene
show now.
anymore.
It's a
exactly.
fashion show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like
And that ain't me. Like,
It
look at
used to be
golf.
good.
I fell out of raving because it was becoming
Yeah.
more about Instagram. Like it really was.
Well,
Like people were just there to do like their little photo shoots, and
Yep.
then like not everyone, but a lot of people would just kind of use drugs, and
Yeah.
I would as well. But I think I was a little safer, and people would like seeing people just get fucked up is a little scary.
Reckless.
Yeah.
It's a
Especially
little
the
scary.
young
Yeah.
kids, they're like 18. I'm like, damn.
So it was
No
for me. It was
reason
like a
left.
little disillusioning.
Yeah.
And I think I slowly like stopped
Yeah.
going.
Well, and the energy there is just different now as well. It's like I feel
I
like
used to be so happy.
Yes.
And I've never been there.
well,
but
like
everything
the
I used to see-
plur, mindset.
And that's,
and
I
everything.
think 2016, 2017 is almost like the summer of love from like the 60s.
Yeah.
It was like the perfect like 2 years of festivals. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then everything
Slowly
else
started
about
to
it
go
just
downhill,
yeah.
and then COVID just.
I think production companies really started trying to cut corners and oversell.
Yes.
And that's like
Yeah.
when I started noticing that, especially with Paradiso, with vendors being ruder, everything was getting more expensive. It was getting more crowded, and I was kind of like, I mean, yeah, you're trying to make money, like that's the whole point of this. But when you're cutting corners and it's putting a stress on the festival goers, then it's kind of like, is it worth it? At least to me, it wasn't worth it anymore.
Totally.
And I'll go to like some, but
Some
not
shows, but that's
Yeah. Especially when you spend that much money too, not just the ticket, but then the outfits, the food, the
camping,
lodging.
food,
Yeah.
like all that.
Yeah.
Just get the stringini and rock it all weekend.
Right.
I'm done.
Oh, dude, you survive on like 2 chicken strips a day and so much alcohol.
Yeah.
It was
These are
that.
hydrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'd chug water, 2 chicken strips.
Especially at the gorge.
Yeah.
And then you're at the river all day drinking, you're fried, get back to your campsite. And you're,
Everyone's glowing.
yeah. Yeah. So
Well-
fun though.
Well, Alex, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for your insight.
Of course, guys. It's
Yeah.
been a blast. Thanks for
Been
having
awesome
me.
to see you about.
Great to see you guys. Yeah. We'll have to do this again maybe in like a year.
Yeah, next time you come
back.
Circle back.
Yeah, when are you coming back?
Who knows?
That's a good question. I have cousins from England that are flying in August, so possibly August.
Okay.
Also, I don't know what I'm doing or where I'm going next. Like, I love Texas.
Mhm.
It'll be a year in August, and I'm like, I might have to go somewhere else. So
Yeah.
I'll have to come back, keep you guys updated.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know.
Well, you know where to
We
find
can always do a Zoom call too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
set
just
up a
have-
Zoom with everybody.
One Alex is.
Right on the screen.
But yeah, no, we'll do this again.
Yeah.
Right on.
Thank you for coming on.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Stay weird, everyone.
Peace.